Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to join and post my first official monthly recommendations video. This was a Goodreads group created by Kayla from Kayla Rain and Trina from Between the Chapters. It is a Goodreads group. I will post the link to the Goodreads group and the links to the channels of the moderators of the group down in the description box. If you're interested in joining, what they do is every month they choose a new genre or theme, and then booktubers and bloggers and everybody recommend some books that fit that theme. So this month, September, is the theme science fiction. And in the thread, a lot of people were a little discouraged by this topic because they don't seem to read a lot of this genre, and honestly, neither do I. So this was a little bit challenging, but I do have 4 recommendations for you, and then I pulled some books from my shelves that I want to get to that fit into this category, and maybe you can help me decide which of these books I'll actually read first before the other ones. So let's go ahead and jump into my recommendations. So my first science fiction recommendation to you is the Saga graphic novel series. This is based on a comic series, of course, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which I am so excited to read. I really like this graphic novel series. It is written by Brian K. Vaughn and illustrated by Fiona Staples. It's about a husband and wife from long-warring extraterrestrial races fleeing from authorities from both sides of a galactic war as they struggle to care for their daughter, who is born at the beginning of the series. And this series has won lots of awards, including the Eisner, the Harvey, and the Hugo Awards. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. I've rated almost all of them 5 stars. If not 5 stars, then 4 stars. It's just the artwork is amazing, the storytelling is amazing, just everything about this series is amazing. My next recommendation is the Under the Never Sky trilogy by Veronica Rossi. This is excellent. I talk about this quite often because it definitely is one of my favorites. It includes Under the Never Sky, Through the Evernight, which is my favorite of the trilogy, and Into the Still Blue. This first book tells a story of Arya, who has lived her whole life in this protected city, and something happens at the beginning and she is exiled from her home and she's cast out into this wasteland known as the Death Shop, where supposedly cannibals, savages exist, and there are these energy storms that she has to worry about as well. But she ends up meeting her opposite named Perry, and together they forge an alliance that determines the fate of everyone. They're dodging these energy storms and they have to go on this hike from where he finds Arya to his home, and it's just really amazing. I love the characters in this, including the side characters. Definitely recommend. The first book does have a bit of an info dump in the very beginning, but if you can get past that, you're in for a wild ride. The next series that I want to recommend to you should come as no surprise, and that is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. This is every book that has been published except for the coloring book, but it includes Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Winter, Fairest, and Stars Above, which is the collection of short stories and novellas for the series, which I have not read yet, but I need to get to it ASAP. These are stories which are basically new takes on old fairy tales, including Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Rapunzel, Snow White, and I really adore this series. The setting is a futuristic world where humans, cyborgs, androids, and a race that lives on the moon live amongst each other and coexist, and it's just, if you love fairy tale retellings, I definitely recommend this series, and it's sci-fi, so that's a bonus. My fourth and final recommendation for you is the Firebird series written by Claudia Gray, and I only have the first 2 books here, 1,000 Pieces of You and 10,000 Skies Above You. I have only read the first book. On November 1st, the 3rd and final book of the trilogy, A Million Worlds with You, comes out, and I really love the covers of this series and get to the second one soon, so I'll be ready for the 3rd one. I've heard that this is like a cross between Orphan Black meets Cloud Atlas, but I haven't watched either of those shows, so I really cannot confirm or deny that. I do want to watch Orphan Black though, and I've never heard of Cloud Atlas, but that is what I heard. But this tells the story of a girl who is on the chase trying to find her father's killer, and she has to go through multiple dimensions in order to find the killer. So So it's very interesting. The characters are great, and I like how she goes in between different dimensions and how the world is built. So it's a really excellent first book. I hope I enjoyed the second book and the third book. Those are the recommendations that I have for you for science fiction. Like I said, it's not really a genre that I read much of, but I do have 3 books on my physical TBR shelf that are science fiction, and I want to see if you liked these, if you've read any of them, and if you would maybe like you can recommend which one I should start with. So the first one that I have is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I know the third and final book of the trilogy just recently released, and I know people have a love-hate relationship with this, so I don't really know if I even want to start it, but I do have this and want to know if I should read it or not. I also have the first book in, I don't even know what the series is called, but I have Extraction by Stephanie Diaz, and I love this author. She's so nice on Twitter and Instagram, and I just love following her on her social media platforms. But this is like a space opera where it has like a toxic moon, so I'm really interested in that. And I got sent this in my uppercase subscription box like earlier this year, but it is Starflight by Melissa Landers. But like I said, I don't really read a lot of sci-fi, and this is again like a space opera about a displaced princess. So yeah, these are the science fiction books that I haven't read that are on my shelves, and I want to know if I should read them or if I should just pass. So thank you so much for watching. Those are my recommendations for science fiction reads, and I think these are good to start if you aren't really a sci-fi reader. They really appealed to me, and like I said, I really don't read a lot of science fiction. Let me know in the comment section down below what your science fiction recommendations are, and which book from my TBR shelf do you think I should start with first once I start reading sci-fi again. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!